and welcome back. Today's video is the foundation video of the week. And for this video, I have the new Juvias Place foundation and concealer. I'm very much ready to test these out. I have seen them all over on social media for a few weeks now, getting ready for it, and I finally received mine in the mail. Ooh, I'm ready to test this out. Let's just go ahead and start looking at these. So here is the packaging of the foundation, and let's quickly unbox it here. So when you pull it out, it is in a squeezy tube. And this, of course, is the I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. I picked up the shade Malta 640. Let's see, can you just... Oh no, you can't squeeze out the product right away. You have to remove a little plastic piece. Okay, so then when you remove that, there's your little bottle, and you do get a full fluid ounce in this, so that's really good. I personally enjoy a little squeezy tube. I feel like you can get all of the product out like this. This foundation, by the way, you guys, is $20, which I don't think is bad at all. I think that is a really decent price for a more high-end brand foundation. Okay, I did not shade match myself right online. So this is the Malta 640 shade. It was extremely difficult trying to shade match myself online. I really hope that they put these foundations into Ultas. I did hear that they're supposed to go into Ulta. I just wasn't sure if it was just going to be online or if they were actually rolling out into the store. I really am keeping my fingers crossed they're coming into the stores, because it was very difficult to shade match myself online. There was a few reference pictures of some girls' faces with the foundation on, and then one swatch of the foundation against a white background. And I mean, that's so hard to tell with those kinds of pictures. So I took a stab in the dark and this is the one that I ended up getting. I mean, I'm gonna be able to make it work, but probably I would go back maybe 2 shades at this point. We do need to see if it oxidizes, so I'm gonna leave that swatch right there to dry down. But that was the foundation. Let's take a quick look here at the concealer. So same cute packaging for the concealer. And when you pull it out, boop. Ooh, that's a cute little packaging here. This is the I Am Magic concealer, which has a price tag of $14. Again, not bad. And I believe this one just says Magic Concealer shade 20. So no name. Ooh, I do really enjoy the color of this packaging though. That is really cute. Let's do a little swatch here. Wow, this feels like a lot of product too. How much do you get in here? You get 0.34 of a fluid ounce of concealer. It's just such a giant bottle. Let's compare it here to, say, a Tarte concealer. This one has 0.33. Okay, so it's roughly the same as a Tarte one. It just looks a little bit bigger. But there is the shade 20 concealer right over here. I'm gonna leave these 2 swatches right here, and we'll go back to it after I probably put my foundation on. We'll see if they oxidize and then kind of see from there how many shades I would go back. I mean, the concealer doesn't look like it's too bad of a shade. For me, this would probably be a very natural color. At this point, how it looks fresh on the skin, not having dried down, at this point it would be a good shade match. Alright, but let's quit dilly-dallying here and let's start applying some foundation. I'm gonna scoot you guys a little bit closer. I did already prime the skin before I popped on camera. I used a little bit of my Wet n Wild primer water in the scent Cucumber. Not my favorite scent, go with the coconut or the rose. And I used a little bit of the NYX pore filler to just fill in the really enlarged pores. But I did that early so that way we were just ready to start going in with a little bit of foundation. I think I'll squeeze some onto the face. Just a few dots, a little bit here and there. Just like so. Okay, that works. I am going to be doing a brush versus sponge test. So on the right side of my face, I'm going to use a sponge, left side use a brush, and just see if we see any difference, see if one is better than the other. But I'm getting started with the sponge. This is the Wet n Wild Beauty Sponge. Absolute favorite, and there is coverage. Wow. Holy moly. 100% shade match myself wrong, but that's okay. We're gonna make it work today. And And looking on the packaging here, so it says that this is supposed to be a second skin creamy foundation that offers a smooth application with a soft, natural, and soft matte finish to give a flawless coverage. It's also supposed to even out your complexion, refine the skin texture, and erase blemishes while maintaining initial finish throughout the day. Okay. Suitable for all skin types, including sensitive and oily skin. I really like that because you guys know I have a very oily skin type. Oops, got a little down on the eye there. I do have a difficult time with some foundations, and if they don't have any oil controlling properties, I mean, I'll get super oily throughout the day. So I will be testing this and seeing if it can really hold up throughout the day. Is it just me, or is it getting a whole lot darker? Maybe a little bit orangey. I definitely think this is already oxidizing. I 100% need to get it down my neck. That way we can kind of blend things out today. Okay, but here we have it. The sponge side is on. Let's take a little closer look here. Wow, you can really see it starting to dry down where I put these swatches. Okay, so let me look at it afterwards. I definitely should not have put those dots all the way around the face right away. It seems like this foundation dries down really fast, so I would just work in sections. Because, I mean, you can kind of see the colors a little bit different here where it looked like it was already drying down and oxidizing. And for the brush side, I'm using the Morphe Y7 brush. I'm trying to work this in quickly now. Whoops. Okay, so definitely don't dot it across the face. That was my mistake. I am, however, gonna take a little bit more product. I'll put it to the back of my hand though here this time. Just add a little bit more in certain areas. Put a little bit more right here on the forehead and just buff that out. All right, but here, both sides are on now, brush versus sponge. Honestly, I think you could go with either one. Both look like they have a very smooth application. I don't really see any differences between the two, but holy moly, I am getting more orange by the second. This oxidizes a lot. I can already tell. I don't even need to really compare it to the swatch yet. It's still drying down on the hand. I will show you guys that in a second, but I can tell on my face that it is just oxidizing. Ooh. So we'll need to ignore that for the moment. Let's now take some concealer now that the foundation is on, and I'm only gonna take a little bit on the under eyes because that's how I like to do it on foundation testing days. You guys know this. I never like to put the concealer anywhere else on the face because I feel like then you're just really testing out the concealer, because if you put it like all throughout the high points of the face, I mean, that's really all you're testing. It would probably help to save this tone that the foundation is getting right now, but I won't do it. Okay, so the concealer looks like a good color. For the description of the concealer, it just says it's a creamy, radiant concealer, smooths and cancels out dark circles, blemishes, and skin imperfections, which it does look like it has a lot of good coverage to the concealer. I definitely don't feel like I need to go in with any kind of second layer. I think that is good right there. Man, but I really want to put some concealer in the high points of the face and just kind of even this situation out. Oh, man. Oh, I'm gonna be orange today. Okay, but now the foundation and concealer is on the face, so let me tell you guys the time. It is 8:20 a.m., so we're using that as the starting point for today's foundation wear test. The two swatches are still drying down, so I'm gonna wait till these guys fully lock into place so that way we can really tell how much these oxidize. So I will show you guys this as soon as I pop back on camera. I'm gonna really quickly head off camera, finish up the eye makeup and the rest of the face makeup, and I will be back in just a second to show you guys some more tests with this foundation and how everything looks like with the rest of the makeup on. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. With the rest of the makeup on, I feel like I look a little bit less orange. I think I evened myself out. I also did a little bit of a dramatic eye, so that way I distract you from the foundation shade. I will list below everything that I used, but really quickly, I'll just talk about what I put on the face. So I used the Kylie setting powder to set underneath the eyes, the nose, the forehead, and the chin. Those are my oily skin precautions. I also did some real simple bronzing. I used the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker bronzer. This one is in Shady Biz. And I used a little bit of blush. I used the Sigma Aurora face powder. I tried to go for something a little bit more mauve-y tone so it would take away the orangey. I almost went with a peach and then I was like, what am I doing? So that is all I put on the face. I didn't use any highlighter. I just kept it very simple. That way we can see how everything ends up wearing throughout the day. There is one thing I want to mention that I'm going to bring you guys closer for. I'm hoping it shows up on camera, but I'm having quite a bit of settling of the foundation between the brows and here on the forehead. So that is quite frustrating. The rest of the foundation does look pretty good though. I mean, here's a close-up of how it looks at this point. Now let's do some foundation tests. So the swatches I feel like have dried down to the best of their ability. So let me plop down a fresh swatch of each. Let's do a concealer swatch right over here. Looks like it's kind of true to color with a concealer. And then let's go in with a little bit of foundation here on the side. Oh my gosh. Yep, the foundation oxidizes a lot. Wow. The concealer, not so much. That is actually really good to know. Looks like it maybe got a little bit darker, but stayed pretty true to color. But the foundation, geez. I would probably go down 4 shades from this to get my perfect shade match, because especially if it oxidizes this much, I would have to keep that in mind when choosing my foundation shade. Maybe look at the pictures again and be like, okay, maybe I kind of look like her. Let me go down one though, because it's probably going to oxidize quite a bit. That is quite frustrating though. But let me roll into the next part. I'm going to give you guys some foundation comparisons. I'm going to swatch out this foundation and a few others just so you can get an idea of how this shade matches up to others. So let's do it. Right up front, we have the Juvias Place in Malta 640. Right next to that one, I have the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Foundation in Light Nude 120. Third foundation swatch is the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir. This one is in 710 Classic Ivory. Yeah, Classic Ivory. That was that one. The fourth swatch is the Revlon Color Stay Full Cover Foundation in 150 Buff Chamois. The fifth swatch over here is the Healthy Foundation by Physicians Formula in LC1. And the last foundation swatch I have is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear in 455 Natural Buff. And then lastly, I had one final test, which is the flashback test. So as soon as I finished my makeup, I popped off camera, went to a dark part of the house, turned on the flash, you guys know how it goes, and I took a selfie. So unfortunately, the foundation looks like it does also have bounce back with it. But that is something you always want to test beforehand, just so you know if you are about to go out for the night, gonna be taking some flash photography pictures. You don't want to look ghostly at the end of the night and just look back at the pictures like, no, I can't use any of these. So always good to test. Now with all of those tests out the way though, there's only one thing left to do, and that's wear this foundation and see how it holds up. So it is now 9:22 a.m. We've had this foundation on for about an hour now. Gonna keep wearing it for at least 8 hours today. We'll see how far we can push it. So I'm gonna do a check-in with you guys probably around 12 something, around lunchtime, and just see how everything's holding up at 4 hours in. So I'll see you guys in just a second to check in with you. Well, you guys, it is that time for the first check-in, and it's actually 1 o'clock right now. So I've had this foundation on for 4 hours and 40 minutes, I think it is. So it's been almost 5 hours here, and I think the foundation is holding up really well to the oils. I got a little bit of a shine going on, but nothing too crazy. I think the oils have been contained beautifully. beautifully. It did have a really nice matte look to the skin for several hours and just now starting to get that shine. I would definitely not even need a powder at this point. And aside from the little area between the forehead where I have the settling in the pores, I haven't seen it start to worsen or that happening throughout the rest of the face. So, I mean, it's a good thing it's not happening everywhere else, but it does leave me a little bit like, about it since it is doing it in that one area. I'll definitely have to keep my eyes on that throughout the rest of the day and see how that progresses. But other than that, the foundation is holding up and looking really nice, so pretty happy. This was definitely a very easy check-in, so I'm just gonna keep wearing this foundation for several more hours and then check back in with you guys for the final check-in. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Well, you guys, it is time for the final check-in. It is now 4:32 p.m. So we're just a little bit over 8 hours into wearing the foundation. So let me get you a little bit closer. That way we can look at the foundation here. For the most part, it looks like the foundation held up. The oils especially, I think this foundation did end up working out beautifully. But as the day progressed, it just started getting a whole lot cakier. As you can see by the sides of the nose, it's just kind of caking up. It's fading a little bit here. And then from the nose down to the smile line and the chin, it's just looking a little bit on the cakey side. Not exactly my favorite look. And as far as the concealer goes, it started to get a little bit creasy here towards the end. I'm hoping you guys can see it on camera. There's certain areas where it's just a lot of creases, and that's not even from my natural creases that I have underneath the eyes. There are certain areas where I don't count the concealer for creasing because that's just the way my natural shape of the eye goes, and I have natural set lines, but that is not what is going on there. So unfortunately, I have to say I'm not a big fan of the concealer or the foundation. I would honestly say that both are a pass for me. I think there is just a little bit more cons than there is pros to the foundation, because the only real pro is that it is really good at holding up to the oils in my face. That was beautiful, but the cons are that it oxidizes a lot and gets orange. Number two, it settled into my fine lines and the pores right away. Thirdly, it started creasing up really bad here around the nose where you can see the separation of it, and started getting a little bit cakey around the mouth. So it's kind of a lot stacked up against it, and the concealer getting all creasy, just I wasn't a fan of it. So unfortunately, that is where I'm gonna be leaving today's review. I know there was so much hype about this foundation and concealer. Hopefully I was able to help you guys out and give you guys all of the deets about it before you decided to purchase it for yourselves. If you liked my video, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that little bell button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!